Ocean behind us, and the sun is setting, and it's beautiful. Here we are on the Pacific coast, and way across the United States of America is the Atlantic Ocean. And near the Atlantic Ocean is our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where our nation was founded in terms of its political structure. And our founding fathers came up with a very unique document called the Constitution of the United States of America and the Declaration of Independence. And first and foremost in that document were the words, "We the people." We the people. And the idea is that the government is supposed to be responsible to we the people. And our vote matters, and our thoughts matter. And in addition to the Constitution, we have the Bill of Rights of the Constitution. And in those Bill of Rights, we have the freedom of speech, the freedom of religion, freedom of press. Now, in recent days, weeks, tragically, a number of documents have come out that I feel are extremely disturbing. And as a citizen of the United States of America, I am deeply saddened by the tone and the nature of these documents. And I'm speaking specifically of two documents. One was from the Department of Homeland Security. And they issued a document, and I have it here in front of me, big giant document. Here it is. And it says, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U/FOU, and it says, right-wing extremism, current economic and political climate, fueling resurgence in radicalization and recruitment. And I read this document, as many of you have, and I was deeply, deeply offended and deeply disturbed to see that my government is categorizing perhaps 45% of the American people. It is attempting to profile as a terrorist or an extremist. I think that's outrageous. And not only do I think it's outrageous, I think it's an abuse of power that our founding fathers, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, would have deeply objected to. Let's go over this document, especially in light of the Constitution of the United States. Now, let's remember that we have a Bill of Rights. And in our Bill of Rights, we have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, which means that we can vocalize or say or believe anything we choose to, as long as we're being peaceful and we're not harming anybody. We can express our opinion, contrary or negative. We can say we like something, we can say we dislike something, and we don't have to fear the reprisal of some government agency. But in this document, right-wing extremism, current economic and political climate, fueling resurgence in radicalization and recruitment, there is an attempt on the part of the federal government, the Department of Homeland Security, to say this: if you object, for example, to things like the United Nations, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the United States of America, if you object to the Federal Reserve, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the United States of America, the Federal Reserve is an independent private corporation, and there's nothing federal about it. If you object to illegal immigration, and that means people breaking the law by sneaking across the border illegally, if you object to an illegal act, if you object to a crime being committed in terms of immigration, if you object to the North American Union, which officially doesn't exist, you are categorized and demonized as a right-wing extremist. In this document, I think they use the word right-wing extremist 47 times. And if you are concerned, it says in this document, about the standard of living of the American middle class going down, and nations like China and India enjoying an economic prosperity, if you're concerned about that, you are categorized as a right-wing extremist for being upset that your standard of living is declining and the standard of living of India and China is on the upswing. Now, that's kind of strange, isn't it? That somebody would try to categorize you as a right-wing extremist, militia member, bomb maker, just because you disagree about things that are external to the United States of America. My name is Paul McGuire. I want to continue to talk, and I hope you stay with me. And I hope you don't try to categorize me as either left or right or conservative or whatever, because what I have to say, I believe, transcends political definitions. And you can go to my website, paulmcguire.com, by the way, and get further information or get a copy of my book, The Day the Dollar Died. By the way, if you're concerned about global government, you're considered a right-wing extremist, militia member, bomb maker. Now, no offense, but I've never made a bomb in my life. And I'm not even sure I know what a militia member is. I've certainly never been to a militia meeting. I'm just an ordinary American citizen who looks at his country, believes in the Constitution, believes in the flag, believes in George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, and I believe in the American way of life. So, does that make me an extremist? Well, if it does, that makes 42 million of you an extremist. You need to read this document. It's very, very, very disturbing that the Department of Homeland Security would demonize you. This is Paul McGuire.